Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm Jessica Williams. Thank you for tuning in. We have such an informative show for you today. So I'm sure you've all heard of Make-A-Wish Foundation, but do you know how it really works? Today, their president and CEO joins me and shares what goes into making thousands of children's wishes come true, and also highlighting their upcoming Request-a-Thon event. Then Foster Financial joins me in studio for this week's Wealth Wednesday, sharing important and tangible financial advice and information. And later, the Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control is here to discuss doggy care and the proper way to approach a dog. Also, they're fostering and adoption options. That and more happening now.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
Make-A-Wish Foundation creates life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses. And when a wish comes true, it strengthens the community, it inspires hope and transformation for the child, and it truly impacts everyone involved. And I'm so pleased to welcome Jenny Boyd, who is their Senior Advancement Officer, and Stephanie McCormick, who is the President and CEO of Make-A-Wish Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Hello, ladies, welcome.
Hi, Jessica. Thanks for having us.
Yes, great to have you. And so let's start off by just sharing what is Make-A-Wish and how does it impact the community?
Well, you stated it beautifully. We grant wishes for children with critical illnesses. And a wish is just simply a powerful thing. How it impacts the community is twofold. Not only is a wish a powerful transformational opportunity and experience for the family and the wish child, but it also is for the community when we can get the community involved in any type of wish. For example, this year, right here in Fort Wayne, we granted our 20,000th wish for the chapter.
Wow.
And it was for a little girl named Maya who wished to meet and ride a unicorn.
Oh, now that sounds like you made magic happen there.
It was magic.
Yes. Oh, that's so incredible. So how long has the organization been around?
Well, we are celebrating our 40th year here at Make-A-Wish Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. And so for the chapter, it's 40 years. Nationwide, actually worldwide, it's our 43rd year as Make-A-Wish. So we're a fairly young nonprofit, really.
Yes, and to impact so many children's lives so quickly is so incredible. And so share with me a little bit about that process, because I'm sure that you get so many different types of wishes come in. What are the steps that you all take in really deciding how to make the wish come true?
Well, it sounds like it's really simple, but it's not.
Right.
So we have children referred to the chapter in various ways. Either the health professionals or the medical professionals refer the child if they feel that they medically qualify, or the parents can refer the child, or the child can refer themselves, which we have happened in our tweens and teens. And lastly, someone, a family or a friend or a foster parent can refer a child if they have a deep understanding of the child's medical condition. So the referral comes in, goes through an eligibility process. If they are eligible for a wish, because there is criteria around that, and what we define as a critical life-threatening illness. Then if they do qualify, then they go on and they are then assigned to the wish, either the wish associate or the wish grantor that's going to help them grant the wish. The interview process starts, the paperwork starts, and ultimately it takes, on average for our chapter, right around 14 months from beginning to end, depending upon the type of wish. Our most popular wishes obviously are post-COVID, our travel wishes. Of course, Disney World.
That sounds like a lot of thought goes into that process. And I love that because it's so heartbreaking to think all the illnesses and diseases that are out there that's really attacking our children. And so the wish portion is so incredible. And Jenny, let's talk about the Request-a-Thon that's happening here this weekend in Fort Wayne. So can you share more about this?
Yeah, so our Request-a-Thon is on Friday, September 8th, and it's with Adams Radio Group. So you can listen in on their big 3 stations. They're Hot 107.9, US 93.3, and 96.3 XKE. We'll be on live from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. And people can tune in on their laptops or in their car, on their phone, with their smart devices at home.
Wow. That's so incredible. Okay, and so through the Request-a-Thon, the goal is to call in to bid a pledge, right? Or to give a donation?
Yeah, so they can call in and request a song with their donation. So the donation can be any amount.
Nice. And then, so what has your experience been in the past with this Request-a-Thon? I'm sure this is a big event that you all look forward to each year. And so what are some of your goals or expectation from it?
Yeah, so this is only our 2nd year. So this is still pretty new for us here. Indianapolis has been doing one for 26 years, and they have blown it out of the water down there, raising over $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, the last couple of years they've gone over $1 million. So clearly our expectations are not that here. But really, we want to get the community aware of Make-A-Wish and what we're truly doing in this community to impact these children. You know, wishes are so much more than just something nice. So we want them just to hear the wish stories that the families and the children are going to share, and just kind of hear the excitement that the DJs have that have had time to spend time with the children.
Right.
So yeah, it's just kind of a really overarching event for the whole community.
That is, and it's just so easy for the community to get involved in that sense. You're already listening to the radio, you love your jam, so why not call and just place a bid in order to help the organization? Because a very interesting stat is that each wish actually costs about $10,000 to grant to these kids, so every penny counts.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for coming in and sharing about this, and best of luck with the Request-a-Thon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks
You're
for having
welcome.
us.
You're very welcome. And if you would like more information about the Request-a-Thon or Make-A-Wish Foundation, we'll have their website listed below, and we'll be right back.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Well, as you know, today is Wealth Wednesday, and we are so excited to speak with Caleb Doan to see what financial advice he has for us today. Hi, Caleb.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks very much.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to dive straight in because today we're going to talk about CDs and annuities and all the interest rates that's involved, because we love a good interest and a return on that investment. So give us an overview.
Yeah, absolutely. So I figured it was helpful to mention this because over the past couple weeks, we've seen an interest rate that we haven't seen in a really long time. And so I thought a lot of people would be interested in that. And that specifically is a 6% multi-year guaranteed annuity interest rate, or MIGA is kind of what these products are.
Okay.
And they act somewhat similar to CDs if people haven't heard of them before. So I always like to kind of compare and contrast how they work with CDs. But 6% is something that we haven't seen in a really long time, and so it's kind of eye-catching when you first see it, and you kind of wonder, hey, is that a real thing?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that too good to be true? Like,
yeah, I know.
6%. I mean, it's been a while since CDs have really had a lot to offer, I feel, especially because they have to be locked in for a minimum of 3 months, I believe. You can have like a 90-day, 3 months,
CDs,
something like that.
Yeah, you can typically get them in a lot of different maturities.
Yeah.
Usually banks will only offer them in certain increments.
Right.
And that's kind of one of the advantages of some of these MIGAs, or multi-year guaranteed annuities, is that you can get a far wider range of maturities than you can with CDs often.
Right.
But yeah, you're exactly right. If people's kind of alarm is going off, like, hey, that doesn't sound correct, it probably should go off because we haven't seen these in a really long time. Right. But if we look at how interest rates have gone up over the past, year and a half, we've seen a lot of the negative sides of that, where, mortgages just passed 7% for the first time in a really long time. And so you kind of get the negative side, but then you can also take advantage of the positive side where CDs and multi-year guaranteed annuities are yielding a lot more as well.
Okay, so what are the qualifications for a CD? Because does this only apply to a certain term of the CD at a certain bank? with a certain amount that
Yeah.
you're putting in? Those are the questions.
Great question. Yeah, right now CDs, for like a 1-year CD, let's say, a lot of banks are offering between 4.5% and maybe 5% on those. And those are usually for a 1 year.
Okay.
But if we think that interest rates are really high right now, a lot of times we want to lock it in for a longer period of time.
Right.
And that's where those MYGAs or multi-year guaranteed annuities come into play. One of the advantages that they have over CDs is that you can lock in that interest rate for a much longer period of time. And so specifically that 6% MYGA is over 10 years. And so you're able to get 6% every single year for a full 10 years. And so that's kind of how they're a little bit different from CDs. They're similar in that they just pay that fixed interest rate that's stated on them. They're a very conservative investment. And then the other kind of helpful thing about MYGAs is that with CDs, you have to pay taxes on the interest in the year that you get the interest. With MYGAs, on the other hand, they kind of stay in this annuity wrapper, I guess, if you will, over the course of the 10 years that you have it, let's say.
Right.
And you actually don't have to pay taxes on any of that interest until you go to withdraw it.
Okay.
And so that's another nice advantage. One sort of con between CDs and MYGAs is that CDs are sometimes a little bit more liquid, I would say. Typically if you get a 1-year CD, 9 months in, you tell the bank, hey, I really need my money back. They might dock you some interest or something like that, but usually you can get your principal back. Not in all cases, but sometimes. With the MYGAs, on the other hand, they have a surrender period. And so if you say, hey, I'm locking this in for 6% for 10 years, there's a surrender period of 10 years. And if you were to turn around in year 1 and say, hey, I want all my money back, they would actually charge you a surrender charge on that.
Okay, so it makes you more committed and kind of holds you accountable for keeping that money locked in.
Exactly.
To actually gain the benefits of the accrued interest. Okay, so what are the qualifiers for an annuity? Is that something that anyone could get?
Yeah, anyone can get into an annuity. If you are below the age of 59 and a half, you have to be a little bit careful because you can't pull money out of the annuity without getting a little bit of a penalty if you're under the age of 59 and a half. And so we have to be careful with that. But a lot of people have come to us maybe saying, hey, I saw my 401k drop and I got really worried. Maybe I sold when it had lost some money. How can I get some of that back?
Right.
And maybe they're really conservative investors. And so using something like this, if you put $100,000 in a 6% MYGA for 10 years, at the end of the 10 years, it's now $179,000. On a very conservative investment.
Say that again, roll that back.
Yeah, if you put in $100,000 year 1 to a MYGA and it earns 6% over 10 years with compound interest, that's $179,000 at the end of 10 years.
Wow, that is a good return on that investment.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, because it's compounded. Because I was going to say that sounds like what about 85% jump of the original principal?
Yeah, but yeah, compound in there. So you're getting interest on your interest each year, which is a really great feature.
See, this is why we need you, Caleb, to break down the numbers and help us with this math. Okay, that's so wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing about CDs and annuities today.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yes. And if you would like more information about Foster Financial, you can actually call them to get a complimentary consultation. We'll have their website and their phone number listed below, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
The Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control is an open access shelter that accepts all animals if space allows. And today we're going to dive deeper about doggy care and how to properly approach a dog. And joining me today is Abigail Reyes, their Community Relations and Education Specialist. Hi, Abigail.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome. Good. Okay, so we have here, you see our little puppy. What's the name of this dog?
So this dog's actually named Ringo.
Ringo.
Yes, he's one of Kevin's friends. So
okay, and you'll probably be thinking it is so well behaved, and this is A prop?
It is. It is. A lot of people believe he's real. It's
Yeah.
so much fun when I take him out to the community. People get a little jump scared that I do feel guilty about. I'm like, it's fake, I promise. But he's well behaved. He knows how to sit.
Right. And of course, dealing with animals, if you're not used to them or have one yourself, you may not know how to approach them or what to do when you see one. I kind of jump back a little bit. I don't know a whole bunch about animal care. I used to be allergic to cats and dogs growing up, and so I wasn't around them as much. So I would love to know the tips and tricks that you have when it comes to approaching a pet.
Yeah, so one of the things that we tell people is to try the ABC method, and I'll get to that in a second, because we've noticed that a lot of times this helps prevent dog bites, because, just as we get scared with people who just randomly hug us and we're like, why are you touching me? We don't know each other. It's the same way with pets. Pets like to know, like, you are coming with a good approach, with good intentions. So we teach students and we teach adults what's called the ABCs. So what it means, I know in schools they tell students A is for apple, B is for ball, C is for cat. Well, in our case, it's different. So we use the ABCs to teach students how to correctly approach a dog.
Okay.
So the first thing we always tell students is to use the letter A, which means ask. You'll ask, if you're with your adult, ask your parent, hey, can I pet that dog? And you'll be like, yeah, sure, but ask the owner first. You always want to make sure the owner is the first person you are asking to pet the dog.
Okay.
And there are many reasons for this. One, there are dogs that are in training. Two, there are dogs that are service animals, working dogs, so they need to focus on their task. And another reason is just to make sure that they're friendly.
And you make a really good point, because maybe someone does have a dangerous dog. Maybe they are known to bite, or they're a little sporadic, and so it is important to know what you're approaching. I even see that sometimes when two animals are walking towards each other and they don't ask clearly, they just pounce.
Yes, and that happens a lot in neighborhoods. So oftentimes, like, we just, that's when I try to teach my dog to focus, and I tell her, hey, focus, so she knows to ignore the other dogs, ignore the neighbors, and just to keep on walking. So that's why it's very important to always ask the owner, can I pet your dog?
Yes.
Because even they could be a fearful dog, and that could cause a mental setback. So always ask, may I pet your dog?
Okay.
Now the owner may say yes or no. Either works. If they say no, just be respectful and just walk away and carry on. Okay. But if they say yes, then the next step is the letter breathe, which just means breathe.
Okay.
That's all it is. B is to breathe. Because if you're calm, then the dog will know, like, okay, we're at a peaceful mindset. I'm calm, she's calm. We're all good. But if you come in with like that fearful tactic, or like a little like scared with, feeling tense, the dog might be like, something's wrong. Why are you scared of me? Should I be scared of you? So breathing always just helps you to feel very calm.
Okay.
And now the next step is the letter C, which just means, it's a little tricky when we tell the students, but it just means curve or do a C-shape approach. You never want to go straight towards a dog. The reason for this is they might think that you're just coming at them or attacking. In the same way, like, you don't just come in to a stranger coming with a big bear hug. You're just like, why is this person coming? Because we're bigger to animals, we're taller, we're standing. So you always want to just go around them to their side, and then you just pet their back.
Oh, that's interesting. I do sometimes just go and hug people. Probably not strangers, though.
Right.
I was going to ask, who are these strangers just coming up and
Yeah,
hugging
well,
you?
I think, and I will be honest, in a cultural thing, a lot of Hispanics tend to just like come forward and hug, and sometimes I've established just a side hug of mine. I'm like,
okay,
come on,
gotcha.
who are you?
Okay, it's kind of like one of those. Think of it like that, giving a side hug.
Yes.
Okay. So cool. So we're going to try this out. I'm going to test out the ABC approach. Let's see how I do, okay?
Alrighty.
So here we go. So this is your dog.
So this is my dog, yes.
I'm going to go off screen. Okay. Do 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 do. Oh, hello, Abigail.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Oh, look at your dog. What's your dog's name?
His name is Ringo.
Ringo. Is it okay if I pet him?
Yes, you may.
Okay. And then I can go around. Is that the C shape?
Yes.
And then come from behind?
Yep, and then you just always want to pet their back.
Oh, hi, Ringo. You're such a good doggy. Yay!
Just like that, perfect. Yes, works out perfectly.
That's so
and the
great.
reason we tell people to always pet the back, especially students, is because they always want to go for the face, and it's cute. I get it, but what's on the face? Their mouth. And then we always tell students, we don't know how a dog will react. Maybe they'll get scared within a second and nip you. So we always tell students, pet them on the back.
That is so true, because I do see that sometimes people just go, I can do it because it's a prop, but they'll be like, And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so close to like
Yes.
that. And then the dog starts to lick them perhaps. But I always find that interesting. But those are clearly the people that are used to having pets.
Yes.
Which is great. Okay, so before you leave, I want to learn more about your doggy fostering. So of course, with you all being an animal shelter, you bring in so many pets from the community and to really take care of them and give them a home. But you create an opportunity for people in the community to be able to gain access and to have those pets. So share it with us about the fostering program.
So our foster program, we appreciate everyone that helps us. We appreciate all of our foster families that are even watching this. We thank all of you for it. But so what it is, it's just, oftentimes when we have, for example, we'll have families who bring in puppies that say, you know what, I can't find them homes, or the mom, or whatever the reason may be. And so we ask foster families to help take care of them until they're available for adoption. And usually this will always depend on their weight, and this will also depend on their age. We always wait for them to be about 8 weeks. This includes our cats, or at least until the appropriate weight is there before they enter our adoption program. Now we do have more cats and kittens that are needed for foster families than dogs and puppies. But we still appreciate everyone that helps.
Yeah, that's so great. And then you also offer the adoption side as well,
Yes.
which is a whole nother step to the process. Do you require people to foster the animal first before they move into the adoption round?
No, if someone is already a foster family and they want to adopt, they can.
Okay.
And we call them foster fails because we get it. Sometimes you get a cat or a dog that you just absolutely fell in love with, and it's hard for you to just give them back. So even though it sounds like a terrible thing called a foster fail, but it's actually a great thing because it just means you're adopting that dog. Now we do have foster families. We ask as part of what they do is that they help find adopters. So for example, say I have Ringo in the foster program with me. I'm going to try to find someone to come adopt him. So that's just them helping us find them a home.
Right.
And no, if you're a foster and you still want to adopt, you can. So there is no exact requirement or process to how to do that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Abigail.
Thanks.
We appreciate the information. And if you would like more information about the Fort Wayne Animal Care and Control, we'll be sure to have their website listed below. Go check out their fostering and adoption options. And don't forget the ABC method. We'll be right back.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you can always rewatch segments and episodes of Living Local 15 on WANE.com and also by downloading the WANE app. And remember, it's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.